Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with Ollie and Nicole is going to be demonstrating some prenatal yoga for us. You clicked on the title, you know what it's about already. So how far along are you, Nicole?
I'm 27 weeks.
27 weeks?
Which means I have about 3 more to go.
All right. So Nicole has been practicing yoga with me regularly for years. So a lot of the poses she can get into with ease. And she's continued to do a practice, even takes my group class. So some of the postures you might need to modify or back off on a little bit. You might be able to see her doing these poses. If you don't practice regularly and any of the poses don't feel right for you, please don't force yourself in the pose. Listen to your intuition right now. The intuition is heightened, so pay attention to what you're feeling, back off when you need to, and even skip poses if they don't feel right for you. So we're gonna begin just seated, just practicing breathing. So as you sit up straight and tall, we'll just practice taking 3 smooth, even breaths. So start to slow down and breathe all the way down into the bottom of the lungs, all the way up into the top. Just take time to slow down and fill the lungs completely. All right, then open your eyes and take your fingertips out to the side. Roll your chest open. Raise your left arm up to the ceiling. Rotate the arm externally, turn the thumb to point back, and then as you exhale, start to crawl your right fingertips over to the side. Do a little side bend here. Reach down through your left outer hip and breathe space into the left side ribs and body. Then come back up. Put your left hand at your side. Raise your right arm up as you breathe it. Turn the thumb to point back. And then reach all the way over to the side. Inhale, come back up. Good, then come onto your hands and your knees. Come here, bear. This is just like your dog, huh? Okay, so on your hands and your knees, as you exhale, round your back, look back at your navel. And as you inhale, wheel your chest forward. Naughty. Exhale, round your back, look back at your navel. And inhale, arch your back, wheel your chest forward. Do that one more time. Just nice and smooth with your breath. And then come into a neutral spine position, keeping your hips level. Stretch your right leg back behind you. Push the toe down into the floor and instead of trying to lift the leg, and then stretch your left arm forward. Good, so we're just gonna start to wake up your spine muscles here. Then lower your hand and your knee and change sides. Stretch your left leg back and reach your right arm forward. Lower your hand and your knee. Inhale, change sides. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, change sides. Exhale, lower down. All right, then depending on how your hips feel at this moment, as you inhale, we're gonna slowly start to stretch the hips back towards the heels, like a child's pose position. And then as you exhale, come back up onto your hands and your knees. And we'll just do that smooth with the breath 2 more times. Inhale to stretch back. Exhale to come back up. One more time. Inhale to stretch back. And exhale to come back up. Then curl your toes under and stretch back into downward facing dog. So in down dog, reach down even through your hands and spread through your fingers. Rotate from your triceps down towards the floor. Then walk your hands all the way back to your feet. And we're just gonna kind of like bend and straighten the legs here. So like bend the right knee and stretch the left leg. And then change sides, just a little bit of wiggling side to side. Good, and then come back to center. Bring your hands onto your hips and come all the way up to stand. Then walk up to the top of your mat, and we're gonna do a couple of sun salutations. These are gonna be like a little bit mellower than a sun salutation A, kind of like a sun salutation C variation. As you inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, lengthen your spine. Step your left leg back into a lunge and lower your knee down. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, downward facing dog, stretch back. Then step your left foot up to your left thumb. Lower your right knee down. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat and fold forward, let your head drop. Inhale, flat back, lengthen out. Exhale, fold forward. Reach down through your feet. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, raise your arms up. Exhale the hands to your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step your right leg back and lower your knee down. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot up to your right thumb. I think right. And lower your knee. Inhale, raise your arms. I might be wrong. Downward dog, stretch back. Good job. All right, then shift into plank pose for a breath. And stretch back to down dog. Good, one more time. Shift into plank pose for a breath. And stretch back to dog. Now if the plank is too gnarly for you, you can just do it with your knees down, no worries. Now walk your feet all the way up to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back, lengthen out your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Press down through your feet. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Raise your arms up. Exhale the hands to your heart. Now at this point, we're going to do some static standing poses. But Nicole is a regular yoga practitioner. If you practice regularly, you might want to pause the video and do some regular sun salutations, either A or B series. But if you don't practice yoga regularly, just stick with the practice today. Should be good enough. Okay, so from here, turn to your right and separate your feet just about 3 feet apart. Then turn your big toes out halfway. And with your hands on your hips at the top of your pelvis, keep your pelvis upright as you bend your knees out to the side. Good, stay tall through your spine. Then interlock your fingers in front of you, turn your palms inside out, and then raise your arms up. So stretch from the inner leg towards the knee, press even through your feet, and as you lengthen through the tail down, grow the spine taller to alleviate some of the pressure in your lower back. Bring your arms back down and straighten your legs. Then interlock your fingers again with the other index finger on top. Turn your palms inside out, reach forward, and bend the knees out to the side. Then raise your arms up. Stay tall through the sides of your lower back. Lengthen through your tail. And keep stretching from your inner legs towards your knees. Then come all the way back up. Good. Now take your feet wider apart. Another foot if possible, and turn the toes straight ahead. Spread your arms out to the side. And as you stretch down through all 4 corners of your feet evenly, draw up through your legs to start to wake up your leg muscles. Now turn your left toes in a little bit and turn your right leg all the way out for side angle pose. Bend your right knee right over your ankle. Bring your right forearm onto your thigh and reach your left arm all the way over your ear. This is a great stretch for your shoulder and for your upper back, but also for your hips. Feel the opening across the front of your pelvis here. And keep reaching down through your back heel as you lift the back inner thigh. Press down through your feet, lift from your center and come back up. Turn the feet to the other side, straighten your right leg. Make sure the back foot's turned in a little bit, bend the left knee, and bring your forearm down onto your thigh. Reach your right arm all the way over. Good. So just check to make sure that you're turning your left thigh out so your knee points forward, so you're not causing any damage on your knee or your hip joint. And as you press through your back heel, lengthen straight out through the line of your back ankle, like you're trying to pull your spine longer. As you do that, it's going to help to alleviate some of the tension of your back muscles, how they're pulling on your lumbar spine. It'll help to free up and help with the health of your lower back. Then come back up. Good job. Turn your left toes in so your feet are parallel. Stand here for a moment. Let the two sides even out. Good. Then let's take triangle. Bring your hands to your hips. Give your shoulders a break for a moment. Turn your left toes in a little. Turn your right leg all the way out. So for this pose, we're going to use a block. However, if you're more flexible and you don't need a block, that's fine. Tip from your pelvis out over your thigh and put your right hand down onto the block. So Nicole's using the flat block because she normally puts her hand on the floor. But if you're newer to yoga or you don't practice regularly, a tall block would be best, or even your hand on a chair. As you're holding in this position, to create more space for your lower back and your hips, imagine you're trying to pull your spine straight ahead in the direction where your right big toe is pointing, like you're reaching through your crown. Keep stretching straight down through your back heel. Then press down evenly through your feet. To help to protect your lower back, today, bend your right knee and then come back up. That just makes it a little easier on your lower back. Then straighten your right leg, turn your feet to the other side, and then start to reach out over your left leg. Make sure as you're reaching, your left thigh is turned all the way out so that the knee points in the direction that the left toes are pointing. Then once you have your hand down, reach through the spine long through that same direction your left foot is pointing. Expand the chest through the reach of the arms. And come back to your breath. The breath is really important. So the whole time we're practicing that rhythmic, smooth breathing so that the lungs start to exercise more evenly. So we're oxygenating the blood better, and it's helping the muscles. The muscles need all that breath, energy moving through. Then bend your left knee, come back up, straighten your left leg and turn your left toes in. Bring your legs together for a moment all the way and just stand in mountain. And for a moment, you can close your eyes or keep them open, but just feel the effects of the postures that you've done. Then open your eyes again. All right. One more standing pose here. Take your feet wide apart, Prasarita Padottanasana. With your hands on your hips, tip from your pelvis and fold forward. Put your hands down onto the floor. Now make a flat back. So we want to start to get some more health in the spine by getting a little more extension in space. So as you hold in this flat back position, which Nicole can do on fingertips, but you could also do on blocks, on tall blocks, or with your hands on a chair. That'll help too, or even your forearms on a chair. One of my students who I taught for a while, she liked to lay over a table. She would take her legs wide apart and just kind of like lay down over a table, and that would help to alleviate a pressure in the back. So depending on how flexible you are, you can adjust the pose so that it feels better for your body. Now if the pose is calling you to go deeper, go ahead, walk the hands back and go into a full forward fold. But if that tightens up your back muscles, then it'd be better just to hang out in that flat back position. Then press down through your feet. Inhale, make a flat back if you're rounded over. Exhale, bring your hands onto your hips. Come all the way up to stand now. Then turn your left foot out and step up to the top of your mat. Nice. Okay, now raise both arms up. Drop your right arm to the side and side bend over to your right. Reach down through your left outer hip into your heel. Create more space through your left side body ribs. Come back up, raise your right arm and drop your left arm to the side. Reach over to the left. Reach your right outer hip down, breathe space into your side body. Come back up, raise both arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Nice job. Inhale, flat back, lengthen your spine. Then step back to down dog, or you can do a vinyasa if you like. If you do a vinyasa practice regularly and that feels good for your body, go ahead and practice that. Then hold in your down dog, hold there for 5 breaths. If it's exhausting, fatiguing to hold in down dog, you can set the knees down and hold child's pose instead. So we want your practice for this time period to feel like it helps you and gives you energy, vitality. So if the practice that you're doing is leaving you feeling drained, make sure to back off a little bit, modify, take breaks when you need to. 3 more breaths, whichever pose you're doing, down dog or child's. Okay, good. Then set your knees down onto the mat. And then stand up tall on your knees. Bring your hands onto your hips. Okay, then roll your shoulder heads up and back. With the hands on the hips, keeping your chest open, turn your gaze all the way to the right. Just a little neck stretch. But keep your chest, ribs pointing straight ahead. Then turn your gaze all the way to the left. Nice and smooth, slow. All the way to the right. All the way to the left. Come back to center. Then drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Roll your chin towards your chest. And roll your left ear to your left shoulder. Roll your chin back to your chest. To your right shoulder. Bring your head up on top. Let's do one more round like that. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Roll your chin to your chest. And over to the other side. Chin back to your chest. Over to the other side. Chin to your chest. Over to the other side. Bring your head back up on top. All right. Now, with your hands on your hips, take those shoulder heads, draw them up and back, and start to lift your chest up towards the ceiling. So this is really good for your posture muscles, to help to open up the stiff muscles in your chest, and to help to start to strengthen your back muscles, to help to keep the chest open so the weight of the shoulders and the neck aren't putting strain on you. Hold there for 2 more breaths. Good, then come back up and sit back in between your heels on a block, if possible. If it's too gnarly on your ankles or your knees to sit like that, then don't sit like that, just sit cross-legged instead. Or you can prop it up with enough support so it feels okay, so you can stack blocks, whatever. All right, so just hold here for a few breaths, sitting up straight. We're just letting the quads start to release a little bit. And then come onto your hands and your knees. And move the block out to the side. And then from this position, let's cross the shins behind you and come to seated for Upavista Konasana. Sit with your legs wide apart. Okay, nice. So, poses that are really great to help to balance and regulate the hormones are Upavista and Baddha Konasana. Those 2 poses together, when held for a few minutes, should be really good for that. So here we are in this pose. And this is the pose that Geeta Iyengar recommends, this and Baddha Konasana together, to spend a couple minutes in these poses. So if you can hold for 30 seconds to a minute, that's great. The hands can go right at the side to help to prop the spine up. Now we're going to add a variation as we hold an Upavista Konasana. So I want you to take your right heel and bring it towards your pubic bone like a tree pose leg, and then turn to face your left big toe. Then just sit up tall with the chest open. All right, so just sitting upright in this position might be a good enough stretch for you. But if you're very mobile, flexible, you might want to fold forward over your left leg. If it feels like it pulls your back muscles in a bad way to fold forward, then just stay in the upright seat or maybe even just lean the chest forward halfway. Then inhale, come back up. Good. Set your hands down. Keep the left leg where it is. Stretch the right leg out. So we're going from this wide angle. It's a little variation of Janu Shirshasana. Then bend the left knee, bring the heel to the pubic bone. Turn to face your right leg. Sit up tall. Now just work on your upright seat. It might be a good enough stretch just to be upright and let the thighs descend like this. Or start to fold forward halfway or all the way out of your leg, depending on your flexibility. If you're trying to jam yourself into a position that Nicole can go into easily because she practices regularly, then you're actually going to create more tension for yourself. Then slowly come back up. Stretch your left leg out wide, sit tall in Upavista again for a moment. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Then bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide apart. Oh, he didn't like that. He's trying to knock you out of the way. Okay, as you sit up tall here, just let the groin spread and release. Let the chest start to open again. And then just imagine you're seated with your back up against the wall. Head right up on top of the spine. All right, now if you start to practice this posture more regularly and you feel like you can angle yourself forward halfway and put your hands down onto the floor, and that actually helps you to release more tension, then go into that pose. But if when you go to put your hands like that, you feel your muscles fighting the pose, then I just recommend sitting up straight and breathing like that. All right, then come back up and put your right hand behind you. Let's just do like a real gentle twist. So when we're, I haven't been pregnant, but when you're, when you're pregnant, you don't want to be practicing any like closed twisting where you're twisting towards your knee and the knee is up by you. So poses like that you want to try to avoid, but any like open twists like this should feel good. They can be okay for your body. As always, I am not a doctor. Consult your physician before attempting any practice like this. Change sides. All right, good, and then come back to center. All right, so we're gonna do just a little bit of supported Baddha Konasana. So lying flat on your back isn't a good idea, but to lie like over some pillows, and if I had more of these bolsters, oh wait, I do, I would stack them up like this, one on top of the other, kind of make a step here, and then a pillow for the head. So let's see how this goes. How does that feel?
That's great.
Okay, so this can be a great restorative pose. So I mentioned that the Upavista Konasana and Baddha Konasana are really good for the hormones. So to hang out in this pose with the legs spread like this is a great way to be able to spend more time in this pose, but just relaxed. So we're actually gonna hang out here for Shavasana today. Now if it becomes uncomfortable for you to be in this position, then you can just roll onto your side, that's fine. But otherwise, we're just gonna hang out here for a few minutes. So really tune into any places that you still feel tension, the sticky spots in the body where it feels like the skin wants to stick to the muscle. And with each exhalation, see if you can start to loosen, let go of those little sticky spots. And just for the next minute or so, practice keeping your focus on your breath. Feel how the breath helps you to feel more and more space inside the body. Space between the muscle and the skin. Space between each and every cell, so that there's a more vast quality in the body. When we get stressed out, when we're experiencing pain and tension in the body, the feeling is like things are jammed up, tightened up, like there's no space. So if we can just take a few minutes each day to practice meditating, being more identified with the breath and the vast quality that exists inside, this can help our stress levels, our response to stress, and also how the body stores tension. If you have more time to hang out here, you're totally welcome to. Otherwise, bring your knees together. Then roll off to your side real gently and press yourself, as you're ready, up to seated. Sit up straight and tall. Bring your palms together. Namaste.
Stay.
All right. Thanks for practicing today with us. Thank you to Nicole for coming out.
Thank you.
And I'll see you next time. Make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment, any questions that you have. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.